Of course, we have our Monday morning and we're trying to get out the door, but yet it's just a little bit cloudy. It might be a little bit slower this morning, but we're going to make sure that you have a good day here and kind of get going, get those engines rolling and, have a little bit of fun while we're
Absolutely. So welcome back to Good Day. So if you watch this show long enough, you know you're dealing with a few characters. Those characters, right? Amanda, Diane. I'm not a character at all. I play it safe every day.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But what if we could get our personalities down on paper or in digital visual form? Well, caricaturist Rob Brown is doing just that for us this morning. Good morning. Thanks for coming today.
You're welcome. Thanks.
I think it's giving us a little signal of what we could expect this hour,
I was
right?
going to say, I love the shirt.
So Rob, we're able to interview a lot of artists, right? And artists have everything that they stick to. Some like to do nature, but you do caricatures. So where did that come from?
I started back when I was like 14, Cedar Point. You go to the park, you get a drawing done. Yeah. That's how it starts. So that's kind of how it happened. And then it just got hooked.
So you've been doing this for a little bit, and how do you, when you go and look at somebody, how do you pick the facial features that you really want to highlight or what sticks out? Like, how do you go about doing it?
Well, I started out doing portraits, and then I turned over to the caricature end, and it just turned more fun. So I just go with what certain things pop out, and so you kind of try to exaggerate it a little bit more with what the person looks like. So that's kind of how it works out. So.
I think we know that. I think we know those certain features of ours on our faces that we're like, yeah, he's going to put a little extra on there.
Sure.
We get that. But so you do this in both on paper and you do this digitally.
Yes,
too.
correct. The digitally is the new thing coming out. It's been out for a little while, but not too many artists are actually doing it live. And then you try to promote, something new for everybody to see. So I draw on an iPad. It's really simple. It's really clear, comes out really crystal clear, and it takes a little more time to do it, but it's so much better. It's such a better drawing.
Oh yeah.
And then you could send it to the person,
and then you can send it.
Digital
so then
copy.
you can and then you send it digitally, and then it works out really well. So yeah, it's a new upgrade to the traditional
piece of paper.
On a marker.
Yeah, so we were talking about transitions with weather a little earlier, so you've transitioned with your art a little bit.
Yes, you got to kind of go with the flow, and things change all the time. Sure,
Awesome. So Rob, talk to us a little bit about how long it takes for you to do this. Are you consistent when it comes to your timing, or does it depend on the situation?
It's pretty consistent. A typical black and white drawing is anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes.
That's it?
That's fast.
So a typical live studio, live, 3 to 5 minutes is a typical drawing for most artists that have been doing it for a while. We get trained to think really quick, pick out features really fast, and then put it to paper. So that's kind of how that works.
He did that this morning when you all were here in the studio. Our producer, executive producer here in the morning, Corey, he's like, hey, I need to practice really quick. Can I get warmed up?
That's awesome.
And so look how great he did with Corey.
I love the bun.
Yes. I said she gave him something great to work with too. She's got a great hairstyle for that. So we're going to have you draw us throughout the course of the show, and we'll show that progress. But if people want to connect with you, and I would imagine you do weddings, you do parties. What kind of events do you do?
I mainly do wedding receptions and corporate events, fun days for employees.
Yeah, a WTOL party.
Yeah. So then the newest thing has been like wine tasting tests, wine tasting. So then I draw on a little koozie, and then everybody gets one.
Oh, cool.
And then when I do the corporate events digitally, we do a little drawing printed out, and you put it on a lanyard, which works out really well.
That's cool. If we had that on our name tag.
Yeah, so it's like your name tag. Yeah. So usually companies, to do a sponsorship, they hire us to do, and then like I said, we print it out, and it works really well for. It's like free advertisement. They're walking around at the convention with a caricature on it, and then people come up and go, "Hey, how did you get this? Where did you get this ad?"
Smart.
So it's kind of like it's kind of like a catch-22, but it works out really well for a lot of companies to do that.
Awesome.
So
and maybe I missed it do you have an Instagram or Facebook people can follow you on?
I do Facebook, and then I have a Google page, and people mostly time find me there. So
Yeah. Just imagine doing this for like proms are coming. Like, oh my gosh, I'm just thinking all of us kids
Wedding.
what
It
we
is
would
wedding.
need and weddings.
It's like
and
the
I do
photo booth version of
So it's
wedding,
yeah.
but live.
And
like
it's
that.
and it's, you know, the photo booths they've been around for a while, but then you know, somebody wants something personal. Personal. So, and then I put their names at the bottom of the page, and then they can take it home and put it on their page and then go, hey, I remember that when I was at the wedding.
Yes.
So it's just one of those things where I know I'm talking with my hands. It's one of
You're
those.
good.
Your hands do all the art.
But it's one of those things where it's like, well, okay, so.
We're going to let his hands do some drawing
Yes.
here. So we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to let him get to work. I'm really excited. Are you guys excited?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm just curious about what feature
feature
you're going to bring out. Yeah, so that'll be interesting to see.
Maybe the mustache.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
So we'll be checking back in with you throughout the morning here. So make sure you stay with us to see what feature
How it comes out.
Yeah.